What's up, hyperdrivers? Today I got something that's both super affordable and really freaking awesome. I'm talking about the all-new Hasbro Darth Vader's TIE Advanced Starfighter. That's right, my friends, Darth Vader's ship has landed. And this one here is part of the vintage collection. And what makes this one extra special is the level of detail that Hasbro went into to make this one possibly one of the most accurate Darth Vader starfighters that Hasbro has ever produced. All while staying within their toy license, of course. Now, Chris and the team was fortunate enough to go over to the Lucasfilm archives and they got scans of the original TIE Advanced Starfighter from Star Wars A New Hope. So like I said, I think this one is gonna be the most accurate starfighter that Hasbro has ever put out. And to prove that, in this video, I'm not only gonna show you guys how this thing comes out of the box and how to assemble it, but we're gonna go and compare the details on this ship to the images from the holiest of grails of Star Wars reference books, the Star Wars Chronicles. All right, and for this review, I put on my I Have You Now Hyperdrive shirt. This is a shirt that I designed myself. Give you guys a good little look at it. I think it's pretty awesome. I'm really proud of my designs. If you want to help support the channel and you want to pick up one of these, I put up designs like this all the time on my Mandalorian merch site. I'll make sure I'll leave a link in the description below. All right, shameless plug all complete. Let's fire up the hyperdrive and check out this ship.
Go strap yourselves in. I'm going to make a jump to light speed.
All right, to kick things off, here is the box that it comes in. You can see it's got the TIE Advanced right there. You got Darth Vader over here. It comes with the figure, at least I believe it does. And then that's how it looks on the side. You can see the inside of the ship is very detailed. It's got the targeting computer right there, so that's really awesome. And then on the back, you can see the ship again. Over here, it shows you the optional wing that it comes with. There's a battle damaged wing that it can come with, so that's cool. You can display it that way. And then that's the side of the ship again, showing you the swap out parts. And then we're back to the front. All right, let's crack this bad boy open. All right. This thing looks awesome already. Look at the size of this thing. Look at the wing, man. There's the second wing. Look at the battle damaged wing. Oh, that's cool. I'm not gonna display it like this, but still is pretty neat to look at. That's cool. And then you have the fixed wing, if you want to display it that way. And then lastly, we have a carded Darth Vader figure. And just look how pristine this came in the box. That is super cool. I almost don't want to take it out of the box now and probably just get it graded, but I don't know. I want to have him in the ship though. So cool. It comes with a lightsaber and some swap out hands too. That's dope. I can't believe they're doing that for vintage collection figures now. But it's such a clean box, you know. I don't want to open it. I never get figures that clean. I don't know. I kind of wish they would have had it loose, or like another option of him loose, so you can keep it carded maybe next to it and then have him loose, or the loose one inside of the ship. So let's put this thing together. All right, so there's not much to putting this together. You're just gonna snap the wings into place. They do have a coordination, and you can see it here. So you have the slot where it goes into, but then there's this little square section right here. One side is curved, so you can see this side here has a curve to it, and then the opposite side has a square. So you're gonna look for that, and then you just snap it into place. Should just snap together, just like that. Super easy. All right, and then you got this one here, and it should, man, that was easy. All right, and then lastly, we're gonna attach the fixed section. Because I do like this. This is really cool, and I'll show you guys how this looks also. But this is just not how I would display it anyway. So we're going to use the clean fixed section is the way I'm going to display mine. And there's these sections right here. So you have a slot right here that you got to plug into, and then you have 3 slots down here in the wing that you're going to plug into as well. And so you want the angled side aimed backwards. Let's get this in first, I think. There we go. And it plugs right in. And it's seamless. Like you can't even tell that that section is loose. They separated it right at the natural seams, so you really can't tell that it's a separate part. That's awesome because it looks just like this side. Check that out. So this is perfect. Wow, this thing is so freaking cool. I have you now. This thing is freaking wild, man. The details are incredible. Wow. Look, you can see into the cockpit. That's super cool. The cockpit opens so you can get Vader inside of your ship. So that's kind of cool. And there's all kinds of detail in there as well. You can see the seat a little bit in this part, but I'll have to get you guys a close-up because it's just a little bit dark. I don't have the right lighting to film on the inside of that. There's stickers on the inside that show off the computer systems that are inside the ship. Lots of good sculpting in there. The only thing I think I'm missing, as I'm not seeing it, is the sticker for the targeting computer. I thought that it was supposed to have that. Let me look at the box again. Yep, it definitely shows that on the side of the box, but it's not on my ship. So doesn't appear to be anything else here either. Put this to the side real quick. See, maybe I missed it in the bags. Nope. Yeah. Guess it didn't come with mine. Anyways, that's not a big deal. I can't get over how big this thing is. This is huge. This has to be studio scale. This looks almost the same size as another TIE Advance that I have. And before I upset some model makers out there, what I mean is studio size, like the same size as the studio scale ship, not necessarily studio scale. They got a whole new or different interpretation of what that means. But anyway, let's see how big this thing is. So the ship is almost 12 inches wide, just about 12 inches wide, and it is 13 3/4 inches long. And from top to bottom, it's 7.5 inches tall, roughly. So it's got a good size to it. Definitely really close to what the studio filming ship was. Let's check out how it looks with the broken wing, so I can show you guys that. So this just pops out real easy like that, and then you swap it out for the battle damage. And again, that just slides right in with no problem whatsoever. The seam right here is non-existent, which is super cool. And now you have the battle damage version like we saw at the very end when he's lost control and the ship is just flying around. So super cool if you want to have it displayed that way. But like I said, not my thing. I prefer a clean looking ship for my display. So I'm gonna pop this guy right back in and have it displayed this way. Bam, perfect. Yes, that's how I want my ship on my shelf. Really, really cool. Man, I'm loving this so far. Let's look at all the details and compare it to the images from the Star Wars Chronicles. All right, so I switched to a top-down view so that we could take a look at the ship and go over all of the little details, all of the greeblies that I'm seeing, and just to see how much of the detail they captured from the actual model. And we're going to use the Chronicles images, which is the only scans that I can see of the ship that's available to the public to compare it to. This is going to be really, really detailed and specific. So, you know, if this is something that doesn't interest you, you can always just skip ahead and you can hear my final thoughts. But I'll be straight up, I'm loving this so far. So, I mean, I think it's a really cool looking ship. So just appreciate here all of these awesome details that they were able to capture and put on this toy. You know, this is awesome. $100, $150, $140 roughly is what this costs. I think $139.99. And you get this level of detail on it. This is super cool. They did a nice job on it. So you can see, comparing some of these greeblies to what I'm looking at here from the Chronicles images, they did an awesome job, especially in this area right here. They captured the details almost identical. You have these points and the way the piping kind of curves in, that looks spot on. All of these little lines, those all look identical, so that's cool. And you have these greeblies here in the back, and that looks almost spot on as well. The only thing I could really see is possibly the sizing is a little bit different. Like some things like here, there's a greebly that kind of goes all the way to where this wing is here, and that's not present on this model, so that's a little bit different. There's also some line work here at the back, and I think that's not there. It's because they gotta account for opening the door. So there's that. And the only other thing I can see too from the image, and this could also be from the camera, is that it seems like the wings kind of curve in more on this one than it does on the photo. You know, it looks like that some of these other greeblies, like these area points right here, are visible from a top-down view. And at least from this view, I'm not really seeing it like that. It looks like the wing is covering it some. So let's take a look at the cockpit. So there's the cockpit interior. You can see that it has some of the stickers. I don't know if that's capturing. Yeah, I can see it a little bit. So you can see some of the stickers in there that they threw in for the computer systems. They got a nice detailed chair. That's really nice. And then you have the controls for the flying the ship, but it's missing the sticker for the targeting computer, which that's a big bummer. I wish they would have put that in. I really love that. But everything else looks good. Okay. Also, something that's a little bit different on this model, and this again because it's a toy, is you get a glass window right here. So on the actual model, this is no glass. They didn't have that. Now looking at it from the front side, I think they did a great job, again, capturing these details. You can see that they match the color of the cockpit. So this has got an off gray, or like a, not off gray, but like a darker gray than the rest of the ship, lighter gray, and then you have a darker gray right there. You do have these points right here, which appear on the actual model itself, and they even colored them correctly. So you got the black, so that's kind of cool. You got the gold guns, which also appears on the actual model. So the blasters right here, those are all look correct. So that's cool. Some of these other points are a little bit different. So like the line work here is subtly different than it is on the actual model. You can see that this is actually smaller, and this section right here, I don't think it's not even appearing on the actual model. So I don't see that there. So that may have just been added for this particular ship. This section here looks pretty good. Yeah, that looks all good. And all of the rest of these lines, these look really, really close to what I'm seeing here on the photos. So that's cool. And they even have this section here detailed out, you know, so you got the piping there, that's cool. That looks really, really spot on. And then you got this section here above it that looks pretty much correct. And they did that on both sides, so you can see the mechanics. And you can go as far as maybe weathering it a little bit, just to show that it's probably got a little bit dirty on the interior there. So looking at the bottom side, you know, obviously this is a toy, so there's, you know, you gotta take some liberties for that. You got the screw points right here, which obviously are not on the model, and you got the Hasbro stamping, which is also not on the model as well. But hey, you know, again, this is a toy. Really nice toy though. You have these points here again, they match this pretty well. It's amazing. Really, really nice work. You have these look almost close to what I'm seeing on the Model 2. You got these line works here that all come through. That is also something. So the nice sculpting in all this area right here. The line work here looks good. Yeah, that came out really, really good. You got these greeblies here and the back lights. You have these points here, which also appear on the photos I'm looking at. It's incredible. Really, really nice. And then this section right here particularly looks just like it does in the image as well. So you have these greeblies here. You got these angles that exist there too. They even captured this section here. I'm like astounded by all this. All the detail, wow. Taking a look at it from the back. Again, they matched pretty well these areas. So that looks good. Taking a look at the side of the wing, they captured these details, man. This is awesome. So you have all of these points right here look almost identical to what is on the actual studio scale model. You know, there may be a little difference in size, like the way these stop and how this one extends. This detail looks spot on. They got that point in, that's cool. They even included this line work here again, and you have this little greebly right here and another one right here. So, wow. And then these count correct on the back side. And it's cool about Vader's ship that I didn't realize is that the wings are not identical. Both sides are a little bit different. So this side here is slightly different than the opposite side. They look the same, but they just got different greebly points. So you don't see the same greeblies on both sides. So on this wing, you have the points right here. This greebly is counted for right there. Looks a little different in the picture, but that's there. You got this section here. All of this looks right, and you got that, and then you have also the exact same line work there. Now on the inside of the wing, it's harder to see if they caught it correctly. It's because there's not a lot of photos showing those greeblies on the inside there. This wing is accounted for, and it does look like they captured some of the stuff pretty well. Again, the photo has it at a bad angle, so I can't tell if the details are exactly right, but you do have a lot of, you know, different details that are in there that they didn't have to put in it, and they did, and it looks really, really cool. They did the same thing on the opposite side, so you can see that it has details all in there. Now, one thing I do see, and it could also be because of the angle of it, is that these back section here, these points here, they seem to be more square in the photos. And these look a little more like rectangles. So you can see that. And then these sections here look a little bit different than it does in the photo too. So that's a little bit of a difference. But I mean, that's minute when you're going over all of this. This is really, really awesome. For $140, you know, you get all of this awesome detail and size. So super, super cool. They even went as far as to try to replicate the damaged wing almost exactly how it looks on the studio scale. So you'll see that some of these cutout points here, they look very close to what it looks like on the actual model. So yeah, guys, this thing is insane. You know, it looks really, really close to the model that they have at the archives, and all this for just $140. This is awesome. You know, it is a little bit different. It's not exact. It's supposed to be, I think they build it at like 13 inches deep, 13 inches wide, and about 8¼ inches tall for the actual model, the 1/24th scale model of the TIE Advanced. And I think it doesn't get that height because these wings could be a little bit angled in more than it is on the actual model. It is 13 inches long. So I think it's really, really close, and a lot of the little details and points that are on that model are existing on this one here too. So really, this is a fantastic deal for, you know, somebody who possibly can't, you know, afford somebody to build a model for them. Those are very expensive to make. This here gives you the feel of a 1/24th scale TIE Advanced, and with a little bit of love, a little bit of weathering possibly that you could throw on, so you can make it look even better. So for $140, guys, I think this thing is a steal. If you're a fan of Darth Vader, you absolutely need to get your hands on this ship. You're gonna be really, really happy with it. But that's my thoughts on it. Let me know what you guys think about this one in the comments below. And until next time, may the Force be with you.